welcome to FountainFX on Tuesday the 28th of October. It's in the afternoon, a little bit later, and we're just catching up with the trade that's been running for the last few days on the US dollar Swiss franc. We're looking at the US dollar 230 core durable goods on the news was negative, wasn't good, so we are talking 0.7% error. And also on the durable goods orders, that was also down as well, so bad for the US dollar. So let's just see exactly what it did for our trade. And we're switching over to the 4-hour chart, and as we can see very nicely, price did push up. So it was a buy on the rumor, and then it was selling on the news, and as we can see, price has pushed down to a new low. So price has pushed down even lower. So this is a way of using the fundamentals and the technicals together. We could see previously from a technical viewpoint that price had fallen quite rapidly. This was actually off news before, so news has caused the US dollar to fall quite heavily, and now price has got back up into it. We're looking to see it fall again. This is from a technical aspect, but now this momentum today has been also with the technicals, but also off the fundamental information, which is poor data out of the US economy, so it's pushed it down further. So we are currently running at a 70-point profit on this particular trade. We're roughly halfway to our target, which is down here, which would be 140 points. But what I've done is I've now managed my stop. As you can see here, the dotted line at the top is where my entry was. My stop is now below. I've banked in 25 points of profit, so I'm now making 24. And the reason I've pulled it down to there is just purely it's set just above this area where price pulled back to before it collapsed. So we're still going with the trend. We're allowing price room to move, and we're waiting for the news to come out at 4 o'clock, which it's just turned now. So we're just going to switch back over to the news, and you can see why price is now pushing up. Maybe we've got some positive news on the US dollar. Let's see. And the answer is yes, there is positive news on the US dollar. Consumer confidence is up at 94.5, which is more than what was expected. And as we can see, price at this point fell because of the news at 230, pushed down to a new low all the way down here, and has turned, and with off this news has now started to push back up. But we have some insignificant technicals, as in we've got an area of support here, which could potentially turn into resistance, so we need to be looking at that. If we look across here to the left hand side, so the technicals are also telling us something else. Price has fallen quite dramatically in the sense that it got down to almost the 94.40, so we were almost 100 points up on this particular trade at one point, but now it's rallying with some strength upwards. Let's just go and see what a 15-minute chart can show us. And personally, on the 15-minute chart, I'd be going, ooh, I don't know, look at the momentum with which it's pushing up. But the thing that you have to be aware of is, if we just draw a line across here, we have this area of previous support, which turns into resistance, and it was support here as well, so it was support several times, touch, touch, touch. So we need to see whether or not we get a reversal. So this is reaction to the news. And it'd be nice to see if we then start to get some consolidation, as in price sideways movement in price, for it to then turn and carry on down. But we will have to see how that performs. And as we can see, allowing 15-minute candlesticks to form, we did as hoped, shall we say, not necessarily guaranteed, but anticipated, because we've got previous areas of support, turn it into resistance. We've got some consolidation going sideways, and now we've got price moving back down. So it's been actually quite a good trading day from that viewpoint. Price has fallen a good 70 points down. Got an area of consolidation, is now pushed down. We're still 75 points up on the trade, and it's about letting the price continue to run. As I said before, our target is 140 points away, so another 70 points to go, 65, 70 points. So we will keep you informed over the next few days as to how that performs. So here we are the following morning, looking at the 4-hour chart for the US dollar Swiss franc. We can see that price is starting to consolidate. It's pushing sideways. It's not continuing in the downtrend. So we've got a number of things that we can do. We can close our trade. We can bank just short of 70 points of profit at the moment. So we could close it out for that. On the other hand, we could say, well, hang on a minute, we want to allow this to continue to push down. We do have a target down here, 140 points away. We're sort of halfway in this particular trade. Is it to be expected that price does this? Well, yes, because this is the previous area of resistance. So guess what? It's going to start to form some levels of support anyway as price tries to break through from a technical analysis perspective. So we're looking at this level here. I've checked on the news. There is no real major news out until 8 o'clock this evening. So no news to affect the Swiss franc or the dollar during the day. So what's likely to happen? Well, one thing is that we can see that the trend line is not particularly perfect. So as price has pushed all the way up there, I'm going to run it to the candlestick. So this is a new trend line, or a refined trend line, shall we say, running to this level. So we can use this trend line as our level of support. If we also look here with this line running across here, which was to the previous highs and lows, we could potentially say, well, look, if we bring that up more to how price has performed prior to this fall, that we've now got this level of support here where price has consolidated along it, pushed up and then collapsed. So this could potentially become our area of resistance as price continues to push down. So we need to look at this as a point that if this gets broken and the trend line gets broken, then we really need to be saying we need to be exiting this trade. So based on that, we can therefore take our stop, we can bring it down further, so we're banking in more profit. Okay, but we're also, the purpose of what we're doing is we're in a trade that is, we've shorted from up here, we're in a trade that's moving in our favor. It's not going as fast as we would like. It would have been nice if it did exactly the same as this and it just fell off a cliff and went straight to our target and we're out. However, because we're running it as a target between highs and lows, we need to allow the market to do what the market does. And at the moment we're 75 points up. It's taking a bit longer than I would appreciate, but the point is that we're still in profit and price is still showing weakness. How do I know that? Well, it hasn't taken out this high or this high or this high. It's not turning and starting to push up again. So the reality is it's just taking its time to get down because the imbalance between the buyers and sellers is causing it to stick at this price level. But it is to be expected because it was a previous area of resistance, and so now it's forming some level of support as the price tries to push back down to our target level. And that's it really for today. Hopefully that's helped. Adjust your stop, adjust your trend lines, look at support and resistance levels and see whether or not your trade is still valid. If it's no longer valid, then close your trade and take your profit. If it's still valid, then stick with it and see how it pans out. That's it from FountainFX. Happy trading. We will catch you tomorrow. Bye bye.